What if there was a way to pass that exam even though you feel that you're completely cooked? I remember that moment when I knew that I was in trouble. It was a cold Monday night. I was staring at my laptop, completely overwhelmed, thinking there is no way I'm gonna pass the exam. I didn't study enough. I barely understood what the topic was about. But then, as I was sitting there, I remembered what my friend, who's a straight A student, told me once. And that moment changed everything for me. So let me tell you my secret so you can ace your next exam. First step, understand what the exam is actually about. It sounds logical, right? But this is where most of us make the first mistake. We open up our books, look at everything we haven't learned, and try to study it all. But here's the truth. You don't need to learn everything to get an A. You just need to know the right things. The things that actually matters. I remember that moment of panic. I was staring at pages filled with things I haven't even heard of before. But then I realized if I just focused on the core topics of the exam, I might actually have a chance. So start by looking at your learning objectives. This is not just a checklist, it's a map. Go over it carefully. Often, the most important topics are right there. Check previous exams. Look for patterns. If a topic shows up often, it's probably gonna show up again. Highlight these areas and put your energy here. Get specific. Ask yourself, if I only have 30 minutes, where would I put my energy? Where should I focus? The goal is to study smart, not just study hard. You are almost cooked, remember? With that clarity, you'll know what to focus on and what to let go. This one step alone can help you cut your stress in half. But the next step is crucial and was one of the things that made a huge difference for me in acing my exams. Identify your weak spots. Here is the time where you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Where do you lack? You know, those topics that make you sweat just thinking about them? You have to face those weak spots. And the key is self-test. Close the book, pick a topic, and see if you can explain it in simple terms. If you can't, you just found a weak spot. Use practice tests. Practice tests are your best friends here. They show you exactly where you're struggling. Don't just look at the right answers, study them, learn from your mistakes. This is where the real improvement happens. And for every topic that's tough, break it down into smaller pieces. Focus on understanding each piece before trying to understand the whole thing. The goal is to build confidence, topic by topic. Stop taking notes and start answering questions. Most of us waste hours making beautiful notes. I mean, beautiful notes. Thinking that's studying. I used to do it too. But here's the truth. On exam day, nobody cares about your notes. The exam only cares about if you know the answers or not. This step was a game changer for me. I stopped making notes and started asking myself questions. Here's how you can do it too. Use active recall. If you've seen any study videos on YouTube, you've probably heard about it before. So I'm not gonna explain it here. But here's what you can do. Challenge yourself to remember the information without looking. After you read something, close the book and try to recall it from memory. It forces your brain to retrieve information, which is exactly what you're gonna need on your exam day. Use flashcards, practice questions, and anything you can think of that's gonna force your brain to work harder. When you're forced to answer, you're practicing the exact skill you need for the exam. You can also try to teach what you know. Explain topics out loud as if you were teaching someone else. Even if there's nobody around, it doesn't matter. Saying things out loud will help you remember the information better. So let's recap on what you gotta do to ace your next exam and not be cooked. Start by understanding what the exam is actually about, and then find your weak spots. What are the topics that makes you sweat just thinking about them? And lastly, stop taking notes and start answering questions. Now I've told you everything I did when I felt cooked before going to the exam. So what are you waiting for? Take action now.